Hey everyone, it's Matt from Speak2. We're really excited to tell you about all of the updates that we've made to the Speak2 platform. From a new intuitive navigation to a services marketplace, enhanced neighbors app, a new calendar, more Alexa management. We've pretty much got everything in the system updated and improved. We're really excited for you to see all this, so we've created about a minute-long video for each feature so that you can learn what we've done and start using it in your communities. So enjoy the videos. We're really happy to get these out to you, and we thank you so much for being part of the Speak2 family. The first thing you'll notice when you visit Speak2 is there's a new homepage. First and foremost, we've moved all of the content into one group over here. So you can see this is where you can manage all of your content to make it a little bit more obvious. And we've moved all of the services into their own category. You'll also notice down here, there's a new Alexa feature where we have all of our Alexa features grouped together so that it's more intuitive, that if you need to do something with Alexa, here it is. You'll notice that we've simplified our order service widget and our announcements widget. The announcements widget you can always expand if you want to see all of the features, but what we found is that most people just want to be able to type in an announcement quickly and send it off to their group. We've made the services marketplace more prominent to access right here. We'll go over that in another video. And we have a new feature of the week where we will present a new feature or something that you might not be doing a lot of and how to do it right here on the home page. So it can keep you fresh on how to use Speak2 every week. The next thing we want to point out to you is the services marketplace. You used to access services up here in the configuration screen, but we've created a new icon and a new direct link to your services marketplace. When I click into that, you'll now see we have all of the service categories listed out here very obviously for you to choose from, and you can click into any one of them and see all of the different items that are available in your community. Most notably, if you click over here into Universal Services, you'll see that we are providing a whole bunch of services for you to choose from and sync to your community. So as an example, here are a whole bunch of activities, and if I want to just get that into my community, I just click that button, and now it's been moved over and it's available in my community. All of the services are fully configured, all of the buttons are already pressed, all of the dimensions of wellness are already filled out, and you can make use of these however best in your community. Something else to be aware of is our enhanced resident record. So if I go up here and I click into the residents, I can go into any resident, and now I see a summary tab where I can see the resident notes. I can turn on their greeting feature. I can see their calendar, what groups they're in, any call history, and any orders that they might have made. So a lot is right here in front of you as soon as you log into the resident record. You'll notice we have something coming soon here. This is going to be an AI summary of what's going on with the resident, and we expect to have that out in January. Another update we've made is in our calendar. So if you click here into our calendar, you'll notice a whole bunch of new things. First and foremost, you'll notice that we have a color coding based on the dimensions of wellness for each item. You'll also notice that there's an analysis group up here on top that allows me to see how I am doing that month based on the goals that I set. The goals are set here in this target icon. So if I click into this, you'll notice that I'm brought to a target dashboard where I can enter the goals that I have for a period of time. I can set any period of time, and then I can click the Analyze button, and it will tell me how I'm doing based on those goals in that time period. And you can see here we have goals versus current as well. And you can always see it here. You can still drag and drop and move things around on the calendar just like you were able to before. I can always update in real time on my calendar to see how I'm doing against my goals just by clicking that Analyze tab. And you can also filter based on the dimensions of wellness. So if I'm looking for a physical event, I just go in there and click physical, and now I see all of my events that might fit that category. So it should make it a lot easier to use your calendar and a lot more informative about how you're doing. An item that we've updated as well is the Alexa management aspect of Speak2. So you'll notice here we have a whole section here now just called Alexa, and there's a whole bunch of things in here that were not there before. First and foremost, we have the Alexa call center. So this is the ability to call people or receive a call via video. So I can see here that I can see everything about that person, and I can expand, see all of their orders, their call history, and a lot about that resident. The other Alexa item that we have here is the ability to manage community contacts. This is to allow anyone with an Alexa to call anyone who is listed in your community contacts. So very easy to just add a phone number, and now anyone with an Alexa can call that number. We also have Alexa settings. You can now assert an address to one Alexa device. You can assert address to all of your Alexa devices in your community. You can assert Wi-Fi, and you can see the status of any of those. So you don't need to open a support ticket anymore to assert your Wi-Fi or your address or your time zone. And last but not least, your ability to manage Alexa devices directly. You can move a device on your own, and you can add a device on your own. Basically, we have moved a whole bunch of Alexa features right down here into this area here. So when it comes to managing Alexas, you have a lot more power at your fingertips than you did before this release. We have updated our question of the day and survey feature. You'll notice in your content section, you'll see right here, you have question of the day. If I click into that, I can now manage my question of the day based on a calendar view or right here in this list view. And I can basically decide what questions I want to have on what days. Our existing question of the day are randomized, whereas this will be a question that you have actually determined that you want to be your question for that day. And then you can see all of the results right here on this screen. You don't see any here because this is a test site. Residents can say, Alexa, take my survey, and it will ask them whatever the current question is. We are also pre-populating all of the questions of the day so that every week there'll be a different question. So if you don't have your own questions, we're going to populate them with some questions that we think are very relevant. And that way you don't really have to do anything other than have your residents say, Alexa, take my survey, or they can actually in the resident app also, as you can see here. Very quickly, we have updated the address book feature. We had a lot of confusion previously from people trying to manage contacts for residents. We've changed the address book to have two tabs. One is to invite people to the family app or the resident to the resident app. So you'll see here we changed this up a little bit, just the way it looks. But when you invite someone to the app, you can actually choose, am I inviting them to the neighbor's app or am I inviting them to the family app? And then you can fill in their information, make sure you can check whether they should receive announcements or not, and go ahead and invite that person. We've also added a little helper here to let people know a little bit more about the apps. You can also invite multiple people to the app. Currently, you can only invite one person, and then that person needs to invite everyone else. Now I can invite more people right here from the community. The other tab here is the Wi-Fi phone. This is the ability to just add a regular landline or cell number to the Alexa device. Just like I would any other number, I can add someone's cell phone, their landline, put in their email address. They can also receive announcements, and that will all show up here in this Wi-Fi phone area. The Alexa devices typically work either via our app, which has a whole bunch of features in it, or they can just make outgoing phone calls like Wi-Fi calls. So we wanted to separate that and make that a little bit more obvious for everybody using the address book. We think it's a very useful change. We have created a sign out feature. This is something that allows residents to sign in and sign out of either their apartment or a community. We've created a way for residents to sign out on their own via the app or via Alexa. So effectively, residents will say, Alexa, sign out, and it will sign them out, or Alexa, sign in, and it signs them back in. The key to this is the ability for the community to manage questions. So if someone's going to sign out, you may want to find out where they're going, how long they're going to be gone, who they're seeing, how they're feeling. So we have questions that can be managed right here, our sign out questions. Those are triggered when someone says, Alexa, sign out, or in the neighbor's app, as you can see here, if they're going to click the sign out button. So you can manage the sign out questions here, turn them on or off, determine your own questions. It will ask them these questions, and it will keep a record of those questions for you. Last but not least, we want to introduce you to a new feature that we're calling our greeting. If I go into the resident record, you'll notice there's a new box here called Enable Greeting. It's here in the summary. It's also in their About page, Enable Greeting. If I turn that on, basically what it's going to do is it's going to enhance my check-in feature, my current check-in feature, to send a message to anyone that I have as a contact that has announcements enabled. So the example might be that Aaron here wants to let his son, his nephew, and his cousin know that he's up and about every day. I can enable the greeting. this is the greeting that will be sent. And anytime Aaron checks in by saying something like, Alexa, good morning, or in the Neighbors app, there's a little hello button that they can press. And what it does is it sends out a message to anyone who is a contact with announcements turned on, and it lets them know that the person is up and about that day. You'll also notice here in the app, the resident themselves can actually change that greeting. So we have 3 predetermined greetings that they can choose from, or they can actually customize their own greeting that will be sent out to all of their contacts. We think this is a very useful feature to extend your check-in feature out to people that may want to know that they are up and about.